Dave, can we get Ronnie and Donnie?
Can we get Ronnie and Donnie? We certainly could.
Thank you. We'll get Ronnie and Donnie.
Ronnie and Donnie. Yeah, can. I'll do some magic more too.
David, follow,
My Punch and Judah figure. Oy. At least my,
we'll do Donnie and
at least my ass is. No, yeah, put them up here. I'm looking for my.
No, I'm with you.
People, Frank Sinatra, did Frank Sinatra literally come up on the stage and spend the whole meeting talking to people? No.
I can't do Eddie. His mouth is stuck.
Well, I'm with you, Ed.
Look at it. Hey! Stuck. I got to put wax in the side to make him talk. How you doing, Eddie? Fine. How are you? Where's the guy? Where's this?
We're gonna get. Go ahead and do it.
That don't matter. I'm screwing around. You know.
We want you to screw around.
That's all. Yeah. You ain't gonna get any insanity out of me. I mean normalcy. You know, I'm looking for that round gimmick ball. It's in here. It's a flesh-colored ball and two 12-inch silks. Take the monk and throw him out. That's his head. It's a ball. It's a silk ball. Yeah, get the figure out. There's what I'm looking for right there. I found it! God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change. Now I gotta make coffee instead of drink. You don't understand what I'm talking about, do I?
Is it easier to put them on the...
Oh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain what we're going to do here. Now, these are real human two-headed babies. They have two heads, two arms, two legs, and their names are Ronnie and Donnie, which I got a hold of them. These specimens are handed down from showman to showman. They're not sold. I have 3 sets of them, which goes to prove one thing. I've been in the business too long, and I got 3 of them. But this is probably the most perfect specimen you'll ever see right here, because this one, I know where it came from, the original ones.
Should we put
Yeah, but why don't you put them up on the G here? Put it on the ground, then put the thing on it, and then bring them in. Now, in the winter time when I'm home, these are my kids. I love these children. They never ask for the keys to the car and they give me money. Never have any problems. Now they have 2 arms, 2 legs, and 2 heads. And this is probably the most perfect specimens of two-headed babies you'll ever see. Now, they're preserved in a liquid, distilled water and formaldehyde. Primarily, most of it is distilled water and about 6 ounces of formaldehyde. And I change the fluid every year. You have to take this part off, and then it's sucked down with a latex glue, silicone. And that's the babies there. And this is Ronnie and Donnie. Now these kids in the wintertime, you want to ask me questions?
No, you're great.
These kids in the wintertime.
Move your hat back.
Okay, take it off. I got gray hair.
All right. We'll keep it on with you. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Back just a little bit.
Back. You want to see my beautiful face, huh? You savage, you. Okay. Now where am I? Let me go.
Okay, go for it.
You can cut me up on the floor later.
We sure will.
Okay, now the baby, these kids here, as a matter of fact, I have 3 sets now. I just acquired another set. But in the wintertime when we're home, I have a Christmas tree. I put up my Christmas tree and I have a figure-8 trains. And I put the kids under the Christmas tree with the toys. Kids love Christmas. And on the top of the tree, instead of having an angel, I have a real human shrunken head. So my house is really weird. You know, Hawk the Herald shrunken head. And that's the way I am. You know, my house is like a museum. I live in California now, and it's just fabulous. I just love being home and the kids and Christmas. Do 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 do.
So now the freak. I mean, this is a.
It's not a freak.
Tell us a little bit about the.
What about them?
How did you come to get them? What was the
They're handed down. They're like heirlooms. They handed from showman to showman. You couldn't get a set of these if your life depended on it. I couldn't sell these to you. I've already got them, you know, somebody's going to take over. My one daughter that turned normal, she went off and got married to some nice normal person, so she's out. So I got a son who Zachary T. Reynolds is home, and Zachary will end up with a set, but he's the guy that takes care of the paperwork. But he's gay.
Well, so let's explain.
I wanted a daughter, wanted a son, now I got both, you know. I love them.
The thing. So is there like a pedigree or a history, and what happened legally? If you could tell us what happened.
Oh, legally, they were confiscated from me once at the LA County Fair, and they brought them and they held them for a long time. And what I do is I went to court with this, and I had some high-powered attorneys, and they knew it, and I finally got it. The attorney cost me $1,400, which was not too high-powered.
How did they find out? How did they come down?
Oh, they compensated because the specimen, it was a live body. It's real. These are real. This is not a clay figure. So they took them and they did an autopsy. Oh, in the autopsy, I found out that this specimen, this kid lived probably about 2 weeks because the umbilical tube was completely healed and the lungs were totally inflated and the parts that they could tell. Now, they didn't want to take the specimen apart, which they would have liked to have done, but they knew damn well I would sue their ass, which I did. And they had it for almost a year, and then I sued the police department, and I made them pay me what I would have earned with this for a year. So they don't screw with me in California too much.
Now, when were they born? And what?
Oh, this specimen is probably 90 years old. That I found out. It's about 90. Most of the specimens oh, and by the way, the shot was, the upshot to that thing is the specimen was older than the law. So they had King Tut going around California at the time. I says, why don't you bust the Egyptian there? You know, they got a dead body in there. So, you know, they got around to it. They leave me alone. They don't bother me no more. I'm at that age with the money, I could get them.
Now, this is a pickled punk?
Well, that's a terminology used in our particular business. It's pickled and it's a kid. So they call young kids punks, pickle punk. You know, it's nice, but it isn't. It's not nice for you to hear, but we understand what we're talking about when we say it's a pickle punk show. It's a vernacular that we use. Maybe it's not the best vernacular, but it works.
So was there any story behind you acquiring Ronnie and Donnie?
Yeah, they were handed down. Where did I get them from, you mean? Oh, I got this specimen from an old guy who was in the business for 9,240 years. And he said, "Hey, Sonny, carry," you know, and he says, "You know, if you could give me a few dollars for the rent and what have you, I'd appreciate it too." So I gave the guy a G note, and I took the kid, and he paid his rent, and an old showman. It's like what's going to happen to me. They'll all be around waiting for me to croak. He's got his eye in the punk already. Watch this. Look at this. I got 3 more. You're all in. You're all in.
Is it true that you're battling some health issues right now, or are you trying to?
You want my friends? You want my kids? And you want my mother, my sisters and brothers? They put in the newspaper that I'm dying, which is so what? Who cares who's dying? I'm dying. So what? But yeah, you know, I might drop that here. But if I do, don't stop the camera. If you stop the camera, I'll come back and haunt you. You know, life, you know, you live, you die, that's all it is. And in between, you have a little fun. You know, life is a banquet. Most poor bastards are eating hot dogs. I think somebody said that, but I don't know. I think Auntie Maine might have said something like that, but you know, what do I know? Yeah, I got a health problem and I'm dying from it. You know, pancreas of the cancer, or the cancer of the pancreas, not the best thing to have. It's hard for them to cure that one. So.
Well, now how did they get the name Ronnie and Donnie?
I gave it to them.
You gave them that?
I always wanted Ronnie and Donnie. Actually, there were twins that were joined together, conjoined twins, and their names were Ronnie and Donnie. So I named them Ronnie and Donnie because they got 2 heads. My other girlfriend, the other girls I have another set of babies that have 3 arms, two heads and two legs and one body. And I call them Yvonne and Yvette, which were girls who were joined together by their heads. They were Siamese twins, or conjoined twins, as they say it more properly now, conjoined twins. Medically speaking, of course.
I heard last night you say you were you were making offers to people to go out on the road, some other co-joined twins. You were trying to...
Oh, no, not conjoined twins. These are real two-headed kids.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, they live in Texas. They're 11 years old now. They have two heads, two arms, and two legs. Very talented. They ride horses. They swim. They go to school. And I offered them $7,000 a week to go to work, and their mother doesn't want them to go to work until they're 18. I was going to take them to colleges and libraries and museums. And I was going to do lectures on mutations and freaks, as we know them commonly, but mutations. And then I was going to put an act behind them and have them in Las Vegas, you know, with the two heads, and then have a thing in front where the people are coming out, have it on a thing like you walk on the airport, and you sell them a picture for $5 signed by the girls, and then they whoop, whoop, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40. It's not bad. In the famous words of P.T. Barnum, who said, the world is a stage, so rob it.
The last question is what, now there aren't any, but nobody's really exhibiting themselves. There aren't any more, quote, freak shows necessarily.
Well, they're most, see, the freak shows as we know them are primarily gone. What we have is a circus sideshow, which has primarily working acts like right over here. He swallows swords, eats fire, he's tattooed totally. He does many acts. Then we've turned most of these sideshows into museums, traveling museums. I know where midgets are. I know where, as a matter of fact, my son just told me he has a little girl about this big, and she, hi there, Mr. Reynolds, and I'm going to put her to work. And so she's actually, instead of calling her a midget, from the waistline up, she's perfectly normal, a beautiful, well-developed lady. But from the waistline down, she has a body of an infant, little legs, little feet. Half lady, half baby, and that's the way the banner will be. And in they come, give me the $50. I don't know.
Well, there's
I make this stuff up as I go along.
I don't believe it. You know, when you call somebody, I mean, you just call them up out of the blue, like those girls?
Call who?
I mean, like the girls who...
Yeah, I went down and seen them. I said, you know, she said, well, I don't want anybody to see them. I says, what the hell, you have two heads, somebody's going to see you. What are you going to do, put a bag over the other kid's head? And then the kids laughed. They'll have to have their mother. And I know them. I send them Christmas presents. I see them I'm not supposed to divulge where they're at. But they're here in the United States, and they live in a little town.
Well, they've had a lot of exposure already. It's been documented.
Well, they had them on Oprah show, you know, but she didn't tell them where the hell they lived. I know where they live. I see them. So, you know.
Well, we're going to do, we're going to do a little walk around, and if you're up for that, just still be mic'd up.
Is the heater on my back? Ooh, it's nice.
Does that feel good?
You want to see a magic? Hi. Why don't you just bring the damn shrunken heads over here? I don't want to get up.
I was thinking just the...
Oh, you want me to walk?
What I thought...
For these prices you're paying me, I'm not going to walk.
What I just wanted to do was to have you talk about the box, your...
The blade box! Okay, for you I'll get up. I don't get up for too many people.
This will be it. I mean, if there's anything else...
You know, I'm an old person. I'm not supposed...
I thought, this...
when I get up, that's it?
I think so. I mean...
Oh, you mean the interview will be over?
Yeah, this interview's sitting down. It'll then be us...
It'll be us standing all...
Standing.
David, could you get an extension cord and put this heater on my ass while I'm walking, please? No, I'm only kidding. Oh, you silly bastard. Oh! God.
Thanks, Bobby. That was great. You were terrific. And we're still going to follow you. We're going to keep the mic on, but we're going to have your...
They're playing my song. An extreme pleasure meeting you again. Je le tapon. Je le tapon.
How are you, buddy?
Hey,
Chris.
hey, Jeff, what's up?